Minimalists.
I was just wondering if you guys tend to use the law of attraction to help manifest minimalism and or any sort of success or whatever it is that you want in your lives, and how that has been for you.
Rob, when I hear Kat's question, why do I tense up when I hear two things? I hear law of attraction, and all of a sudden, it's my own negative response.
It's the woo-woo radar. It's the woo-woo alarm.
There's something there, but then also the word manifest. Like,
it's another woo-woo alarm bell for you.
For whatever reason, it's nails on a chalkboard for me, and it shouldn't be, and I should be more open-minded to things like this, because when I hear it, I almost don't even know what it means.
Notice, is that a question?
It's more of a
Rob,
rant.
Thoughts? Was there a question at the end of that sentence?
Yeah. What? Why do I have this allergy? There we go.
Allergic to woo-wooiness.
My guess is you have a instinctual reflex against something that seems to take this vast, mysterious, extraordinarily generative universe and boil it down to one law. It actually feels to you too minimalism.
Too simplistic.
So the impulse in the question is wonderful. How you think about things profoundly shapes what they even are. So that's why her question is so powerful, is she has come into a way of understanding the power of how you choose to name the experience, because that shapes what the experience even is. So an example would be, recently I was talking to this guy who said to me, and he was lovely. He was talking about his own life, and he now has a daughter, and he's married, and he's exploring how he's going to live. He's a young businessman, and he said, every generation wants to one-up the generation before it. And I was like, okay, first off, totally understand the impulse, but let me say that word back to you and tell me how your body hears that word, one-up. He's like, oh, tense. It's like, yeah, one-up is what? He said, competition. I said, follow that? Competition meaning what? He's like, oh, win or lose. Oh, and then you evaluate yourself whether you win or lose. So that phrase sounds wonderful. Each generation wants to one-up the one before it, but what it actually, the experience of it is a tense experience of scarcity. So there's all of these energies hidden in a statement like that can just fly right under the radar, like, oh yeah, every generation. So the power of thinking about how you think about the world is it alerts you to all the ways that you're actually framing your experience in ways that aren't going to take you anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, the language is so powerful.
Yeah.
You can improve upon that. You could even use the word improve upon. You could say each generation wants to improve upon the previous, and all of a sudden
Give more.
There you go.
Hand less to unlearn.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful impulses. So underneath the question, let's go back to why you threw up in your mouth at the question. The truth is there are these extraordinarily subtle shifts in how we view everything. So one example was you can view life through a lens of scarcity and lack, or you can view life through a lens of abundance and generosity. And they exist almost so deep in the self that you can't even see them. You know what I mean? They're so close in here, but they're actually what you look through. The gift of something like law of attraction, it simply alerts people to, if I am operating from a place of scarcity and lack, then I'm going to see everything as competition. The goodness that comes to others will always be a threat to me, which leads to jealousy and envy, and it ultimately shrinks heart and soul. If I see the earth and this world we're living in is abundant and can provide for all, and I'm going to be fine, that's going to profoundly shape things. How's that? Yeah.
A great
Look
start.
at you. He's twitching less.
Well, I do think about the language with my daughter in particular. So, the way we end every episode is love people, use things, because the opposite never works. And the problem is we often say we love something, like I love Ryan, but oh man, I love these chairs, right? And
Same word. for chairs and Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and we have a language problem, really, right? And
Never knew chairs could be that awesome.
And Ella always argues with me. She's like, "But I love my robe," and I'm like, and it made me realize, like, oh, like this is what children do. Is they love things and they get confused with with the things that they love and it's misplaced priorities and all these other things. But it's because they're children. They don't have a fully developed prefrontal cortex but we as adults, don't we do the same thing? I still say I love this chair and I get attached to these things. I give meaning to things that don't deserve that meaning, right?
Well, it's interesting because if I say I love you versus I love that chair, it's two completely different emotions.
Right.
And it's interesting how, this goes back to the language thing. If you're looking at just the language, the law of attraction sounds really silly. But like when I think of the law of attraction, it's very emotional for me. Like it's not like, oh, if I think I'm going to make $1 million, it's going to drop in my lap. It's more like, what would I do with that? Why do I want $1 million? What am I going to do with that? Oh, what I really want to do is I want to be financially free. I want to be able to give to others. So then I start to focus on that, which leads to actions to do that, which really, even in the movie, what is it called? The Secret? The Law of Attraction movie. Every single one of those people who they interviewed, there was so much action that went behind their law of attraction. But that, like, I feel that though, when I hear the law of attraction, it's like, I feel the action that comes along with it. So you and I kind of disagree on that, the love thing. I agree with you, and I try to use it that way that we talk about. But if someone says it, like, I don't let it interrupt their moment that they're experiencing.